Take us back to the Europa League, maybe. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Lons 2, Arsenal 1. Now, from the start, let me say this. At the beginning of the Champions League campaign, I predicted Arsenal to win 4 games, to draw 1, and to lose 1. I didn't expect us to win 6 games out of 6. But on the other side, I did not expect that loss to be against Lons. I said last week that when you go to Sevilla and PSV, we might not win. Let's get out of there with draws. That is, I was expecting us to go to Lons and win, and then go to Sevilla and PSV and hopefully pick up draws. Second game, we have picked up a loss against Lons, and that is a proper night to forget. That is a disastrous night. You know what is even worse? Like, I'm not even mad about the result as much as I'm mad about Saka getting injured. So it's a terrible night. That was a definitely forgetful night or forgettable night. Second half, absolutely terrible. Especially after we started the game so well, I thought, you know what, Jesus has scored. Let's get a second, let's get a third goal and finish this game off. We let them back into the game, and they punished us. European football, you can't underestimate anyone. Whether you're playing against Club Brugge or Lens or Bayern, anyone can beat you, especially away from home. I never expect away games to be easy, but I thought it was going to be Sevilla and PSV are going to give us hard games. I didn't think Lens was going to give us such a hard game as well. And on top of that, another mistake costing us a goal. We didn't create as many chances as we wanted today. Many players were out of form today, so definitely a forgettable night. Now, I'm going to say this at the beginning as well. Probably not the end of the world, mainly because PSV and Sevilla have drawn, so we are still top of the table, but we still wanted to win today. Like, if we won today, considering PSV and Sevilla have drawn, we literally would have had a chance to go through by match day 4. But now, things are harder. We're on 3 points. PSV is on 3 points now. Sevilla is on, PSV is on 2 points. Lens is on 3 points. So Lens is second. Lens is on 3 points. Sevilla are on 1, and PSV are on 1 point as well. So I think 3-3-1-1 in terms of points. So I will confirm that. But yeah, definitely a forgettable night. Now the home games become very important. Today is not the end of the world. I did not expect us to win all 6 games in the groups. I thought definitely we were going to play better than this against Lens. This is definitely a bad result because we still have to go to PSV and to Sevilla. Now the home games, we cannot let those teams come to our place and draw. We have to win all our home games, like against Sevilla and against Lens, and you have to win them comfortably. And now we have to go to PSV and Sevilla and at least win one of those games. So it has definitely become harder. You don't want a result like this, especially just before facing Man City. Things were looking good for us. Like, Man City had just lost 2 games in a row. They have De Bruyne out, they have Rodri out. So we were supposed to go into this game more positive than them. But now we've also lost, and we have an injury to Bukayo Saka. So you're basically going into the game pretty much in the same kind of confidence. So definitely a forgettable night. Let's go through the game. Let me know what you guys made of the game. I thought the lineup that we had would definitely get the result. But now after when watching that game after Saka went off, I was like, maybe this is why you always play Saka, because like without both Saka and Martinelli on the pitch, you can tell like things are way too slow. It's not just like we lost because those two are not there. The rest of the team was no good. Like Odegaard was quiet today. Who else was quiet? Even Ketini came on quiet. Smith Rowe looked sharp. Havertz was way too quiet today. Declan Rice is making a couple of errors. David Raya is making errors. So when you have a bad day like that, it's definitely going to be a bad day. And we don't have the likes of Saka and Martinelli to turn to. So that becomes even worse, not having Saka and Martinelli on the pitch. Maybe that is why Saka always starts, because the moment he's not on the pitch, things are not looking quick enough and we look very lost. Today we looked very lost. This actually reminds me of last season when he went to PSV. We looked very lost. So let me know what you guys made of the game. We at least deserved the draw, says Dennis. I don't think we deserved a draw. I actually don't think we deserved those last minute chances. Maybe one of them would have gone in, but I don't think we deserved to win anyway. So let's see. Why not starting Ramsdale? Says Moise. I usually I don't want to talk about that particular topic, because now personally I wanted Ramsdale to start. But now people can't say, okay, why didn't Ramsdale not start? That is a mistake now, because I saw a lot of people celebrating that Raya was playing. I still don't have a problem with both of them, any of them starting. Mistakes happen. That was a bad mistake, giving away the ball. We still should have done better after that, but it's a quality goal from Lons, but definitely a bad mistake from Raya. You don't want that to happen right before a Man City game. And yet another mistake. Already this season, we've made like 8 mistakes. Like, that is just bad. And it's not even one player, it's different players. Today it's Havertz giving away the ball. Tomorrow it's Zinchenko. The next day it's Raya. Who else has given away the ball this? And there's very many. Saka gave away a goal against Fulham. There's so many players who've made mistakes already this season, and that is always a concern, because if we didn't give them that goal, like it would have been 1-0. Literally, we gave them confidence, and you could see the crowd. They were literally up for it. That was their first game at home in the Champions League since 2002. So they were pumped to play that game. Mata should have started Saka. What do you mean? Should he started, or do you mean he shouldn't have started him? Sevilla, it's 2 points, and PSV 1 point. So Arsenal 3. Lons 3, Sevilla 2, PSV 1. Now that is tighter than I wanted it to be. We should have been on 6 points right now, 4 points. It's no more tighter now. Now our next game is away to Sevilla. Now we can't go there and lose. If we lose there, then it's trouble, because I expected us to beat Lons. So the Sevilla game, we either have to go to Sevilla or to PSV and pick up a point. So it's not a good result, especially right before the Man City game. It's not the best result, but I don't think we deserve to win today's game anyway. Terrible from a lot of players, especially after starting the game so well. I expected better. Hard luck, guys, says Mary, and Virginia as well says Ayobami. So personally, I wanted Saka not to be started today. I wanted Saka to be on the bench. I would have started Fabio Vieira, someone else on that side, but we'll talk about this. So this was our lineup today. Hopefully I have the right one on screen. Yes, that was our lineup. So we had Gabriel Jesus up front, Trossard, Saka, midfield of Havertz, Declan Rice on Odegaard, and then we had Zinchenko, Gabriel, Saliba, and Tomiyasu at the back. Raya was the goalkeeper. On the bench, Ramsdale, Karl-Heinz, Kivio, White, Cedric, Elneny, Partey. So happy to see Partey back. Jorginho, Vieira, Smith Rowe, Nelson, and Nketiah. So I did say I would not be surprised if Ben White was on the bench for this one, because he's the only one who started every single game. Saliba has been rested before. Gabriel has not started every single game. Zinchenko has not started every single game. So Tomiyasu coming in for Ben White, I don't have a problem with that. The midfield, I wanted that midfield to start, because the likes of Declan Rice and Odegaard are able to start. Now, I did not want Saka to start. That is for sure. Like I talked about it in the preview, I said I think we have a good enough team. I trust Nelson, I trust Vieira, I trust all of those players to come in. We should beat Lons. Now it's looking like a terrible plan either way, because we still lost to Lons. But if we ignore the result, I still feel like we didn't really need Saka that much to start that game. You can keep him on the bench. If things get bad, he can come on. Yes, it would be better if he scored 3 goals in the first half and win the game in the first half, but sometimes it doesn't also like matter whether you score start Saka and score 1 goal and take him off in the second half, or you do it vice versa. Like play the likes of Nelson, and then if things go wrong, you can bring in Saka. I did not want him to start this game, because let's say if Saka did not start this game today and we lost, and then we have Man City this weekend, it would have been okay. We are sad about losing the game, but at least Saka is fit for the weekend's game. But now it could be like punch, punch, punch. You've lost. Saka's gotten injured, and he still loses to Man City. So it could be three punches in a row, and that would be disastrous. So you can take one punch and then two things, maybe draw it Man City, and then Saka is still available for that game, but you still lose to Lons. It's not the end of the world because you still have your first team to play against Man City. But now we've lost the game, we've lost Saka, and we have Man City over the weekend. So it's not looking good in terms of that. I literally do not want him to start. And the worst thing is, I'm the biggest supporter for Arteta, or Arteta's biggest supporter. But this for Saka, this particular idea of starting Saka in every single game, I don't think he has to start every single game, man. Like, we have so many good players. There's Nelson there, there's Smith Rowe. Even if you want to start Fabio Havertz on the right side, that is fine. Even if you want to start Nketiah on the right side, whatever. Just put Saka on the bench for 1 or 2 games. The worst thing on top of that as well is it's not just Arteta starting him every single game. He's going to go to England, and Southgate is going to start him in both games as well. So we have 2 managers. Both Saka's managers, Southgate and Arteta, want to play him in every single game, and that becomes a problem because they are going to play against, I don't know if they're playing against Australia or something in the international friendly. Saka is going to start both games for England if he's fit. So terrible. So it would have been it would have been a big advantage for us if you aren't playing Man City this weekend. I would have loved to play a different team, Luton or Sheffield United or something. Why? Because I would have loved us to rest a couple of players this weekend. Like, don't play Saka, don't play Trossard or Partey as well, just so that their countries don't pick them. Now, if Saka and Partey play this weekend, their countries are going to pick them as well. And then Partey is going to go to Ghana and play 2 games. Saka is going to go to England and play 2 games, and then they come back with other injuries. So the way the Man City game has fallen, like right before the international break, not ideal at all. Because Saka, the good thing with Saka is that he can recover very quickly. We've seen Saka going off and playing in the next game. If he doesn't play against Man City, obviously, we definitely take a hit a lot. Like, if Saka is not there against Man City, then it becomes a bit of a problem. Someone would have to really step up. But if he plays, England is going to pick him, and Southgate is going to play him in both games for England. And the worst thing about that is that England, I don't think they're even playing qualifiers, and I also think Ghana like playing friendly matches, and both of them are going to go and start. So it's not a good thing that Man City is before the international break, because now we have to kind of force Partey and Saka to play that game, and then they're going to be picked for the international team. So not ideal. A sad day for Arsenal, quite a sad day. So it wasn't a sad day in the first 15 minutes. They did have a couple of quick corners. Lons, they threatened us in the first 5 minutes, but I was like, you know what, that is fine. Just keep let them have the ball for a bit, and then the moment you get the control of the game, we are going to come back and you're going to score a couple of goals. And that is exactly what happened. Jesus, very, very good run from Saka with the assist, passed it to Jesus, and Jesus is a very, very good finish. Back-to-back Champions League games he scored in Jesus. I'm happy that he's scoring. He scored against Man United, he scored against PSV, he scored against Lons. We need Jesus to be scoring like that. So good finish to put us 1-0 up. And that we couldn't have gotten a better start than that, because now Lons would have to push forward and you have a chance of getting a second goal and maybe a third goal. But that did not happen. But 6 minutes later, Zinchenko put in a very good pass, or very good chipped pass to Havertz. Very good volley from Havertz. The goalkeeper saved it. It would have been 2-0 to Arsenal. And then rare mistake. Another mistake, another Arsenal player making a mistake. Not ideal, man. Like, every single game we play, make a mistake. I literally think if you aren't making mistakes, I don't think we'd ever concede a goal, because very few goals that we concede, I'm like, wow, this is a brilliant goal. Today was a brilliant goal from Lons, but it came from our mistake. Tottenham, Jorginho gave away the second goal. We'd have won that game 2-1. And it's a very silly mistake as well. Like, you didn't have to make that mistake. There was a lot of other passes to make. Fulham, Saka gave away the ball. Ramsdale out of position. Terrible for that as well. Another mistake. If you go to Man United, Havertz gave away the ball as well. Another mistake. Another goal right away. The corner that we gave away to Fulham, the second goal, I think it was Zinchenko lost the ball or something. We gave away a corner. Traore, a crossing, another goal. Literally every single goal that we concede, mistake. We can even go back to preseason against Man United. Gabriel missed the ball. Sancho scored. Like, every single game, we consider goal from a mistake. Like if you aren't making any mistakes, we would not have been conceding goals, because there's no time that I usually look at the opponents and I'm like, wow, they literally passed Saliba, they dribbled past Gabriel and had a shot from outside the box. What a goal. Well done. Never. We usually give them the goals. So absolutely terrible. I don't know how we're going to cut off the mistakes, because it's not one player. Now, even the new players that we've bought, Havertz and Raya, they've already made a mistake. So I don't know what the problem is. I know it is a risk playing out from the back. I don't want us to change that, because when it works, like against Bournemouth the other day, when you get that correct pass from the back, you literally open or cover part the opponents. But you need to cut out the mistakes. If the ball is not on, just clear the ball. Yes, you can try passing out from the back 90% of the times, but if the ball is not on, just clear the ball. And the rare pass today, I felt like it was too extravagant. Like it was a very fancy ball to try and pass. Like there was other easier passes and you're trying the cheap pass. So bad mistake from Raya there. And Lons equalized and we gave them confidence. That is the problem. The moment you let the other team score, you give them confidence and they score from that. And 9 minutes later, it got even worse. I'm annoyed that we lost the game, but that is not even the reason why I'm annoyed the most. This is the reason why I'm annoyed the most, because this guy is now injured again. This is like 4 games in a row he's been taken off with an injury. I don't know if it's the same injury. We have to wait and to see. But against Tottenham, he was he subbed off. Against Everton, he was, is it Everton? No, against Bournemouth. Why am I confusing the games? Yeah, against Bournemouth, he was definitely injured. He was subbed off. I wanted him to get subbed off. The moment he scored the 3rd goal in that game, I wanted Saka to go off, but he kept on playing. Today again, where did he even pick up this injury? It didn't look like anyone hit him. So is it the same injury from the Bournemouth game? This is a sad picture, man. Saka right before Man City, because now they didn't have Rodri and De Bruyne. Our chance was have Saka there, have Partey there, have Rice there. We have the advantage. Now, if you don't have Saka and you don't have Martinelli as well, now it becomes a problem. Now we are playing with wingers who are usually not our first team wingers, so it becomes a huge problem. I don't know if it was precautionary for him to go off. As I said at the beginning, the good thing with Saka is that he usually goes down and he still plays the next game. But the problem with this Man City game is it's going to be very energetic, man. It's going to be high pressure game. It's going to be putting in the tackles. You're going to need him to run and run and run. If he starts that game again and he plays like 60, 70 minutes, and then he goes to the international break and plays like the both games with England, we are going to get him back and he's going to be out for 1 or 2 months. And that is what I'm trying to avoid. I rather put him on the bench for 5 games and not miss him for 2 months. Even if he's 60%, 70% to face Man City, I would not play him, to be honest. I don't want to play him against Man City and then we still lose, and then we lose him for 2 months. That would be a disaster. That would be a definite disaster. So if he's not 100% fit for the Man City game, Nelson, put on your boots. We trust you. Smith Rowe, put on your boots. We trust you. Go on there and do something. Go on there and help us out. Fabio Vieira, show us what you've been showing us this season. Go out there and perform. Even if it means playing Jesus on the wing again, we might have to play Jesus on the right side and start to get up front. I don't know how he's going to do it, but I don't want us to risk Saka going out for 3 months, 4 months. But he's definitely played way too many games for both Arsenal and England. And I'm one of those fans. Like if I was a manager, like I usually tell you guys, I'm usually scared for in terms of injuries. Like I'm one of those, like if I have a team and we get a 2-goal lead, I'm like, Zinchenko, get out. Saka, get out. Partey, get out. All the injury-prone players, we are 2 goals up, get out. Bring on a few other players that usually don't play. Sometimes that can backfire. The other team can score. It can be 2-1, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I've started off my players. But especially the injury-prone players like Partey, Zinchenko, I'm usually like, nah, take them off immediately. And now Saka is 3-4 games injured. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. I don't know whether it's going to play this weekend, but let's wait and see. But Vieira came on. Halftime, 1-1. We still had a chance of coming back in the second half and scoring. I thought in the first half, most of our players were quiet. Havertz had a good volley that could have gone in, good goal, save from the goalkeeper. Odegaard had a few instances where we actually saw him, but most of the players, to be honest, were not playing how we know they can play. That was not Odegaard at his level. That was not Rice at his level. Who else? That was definitely not Trossard at his level as well. There's a couple of times I saw Trossard in the box. I was like, he usually does better in terms of that. And defensively I still think defensively, Gabriel and Saliba put in a couple of very good tackles still, especially Gabriel. I think defensive-wise, Gabriel did well defensive-wise. For the goals, The first goal was really good. The second goal, we were cut open, man. I don't know if Zinchenko was, but we were basically opened up for that second goal. But defensively, I don't think the likes of Tomiyasu and the likes of Gabriel were bad at all. I think they're okay, but especially our forward players, terrible. Very, very quiet. All of them. Jesus scored, but for the rest of the game, I think he was way too quiet. I will check the stats. I'll rewatch the game. I'll try and rewatch the game and see what I missed. But yeah, second half, we gave Lons the goal. So Tomiyasu first, we had a chance for Tomiyasu. Odegaard put in a very good corner, and then Tomiyasu had a shot that was cleared off the line in the 66th minute. That was our chance, because right after that, he didn't look good, man. He didn't look good. They scored right after to make it 2-1. That Wai guy, very good play from them. They literally cut us open to make it 2-1. And from that point on, they literally packed the bus. We were never going to score. We had to look for something from the set piece. We brought in Nelson, brought in Smith Rowe White, Trossard went off, Havertz went off, Zinchenko went off, and Nketiah also came on for Odegaard. And now when Odegaard, Martinelli, and Saka are all not on the pitch at the same time, that is where I usually have a problem now. That's where I'm usually like, if all three of them are not on the pitch, it becomes a problem. I don't have a problem with one or two of them getting rested, but the moment you take out all three of them, it becomes a bit of a problem. So that is where now we need to build trust, the likes of Havertz and Fabio Vieira and Nelson, to trust them to the point where I'm like, Saka and Odegaard are not there. Vieira and Nelson are going to do the job. We need them to keep performing at the top level, because those are like three of our best players. If they're not there, it becomes a problem. So they scored the goal, and for the rest of the game until like the 90th minute, that's when you got a couple of chances. I don't think we created enough. I don't think we deserved to even score a second goal, let alone winning the game. And that was it. A very terrible night, a night to forget. I definitely did not expect us to lose this game. Maybe we did definitely needed this humbling. So I did say, for the groups, I think we're going to finish with 12 or 13 points. That is what I said. So that is 4 wins and a draw and a loss, of 4 wins and 2 losses. But I thought the losses would be against PSV away and maybe Sevilla away, a draw or something. I did not expect us to lose points to Lons. Next game is Sevilla away from home. Now, that is even tougher than Lons. So we have to go there and put in a proper performance. Take your chances and go there and win. We probably will still go through. I don't want to say that with chest out. We need to win our home games. That is what we need to do. But we were very lucky that PSV and Sevilla drew today. So we are still top of the table. We need to win our home games and maybe go to Sevilla, go to PSV and draw. So we might still go through, but definitely a night to forget. And Saka getting injured and right performance this game as well, not ideal at all. So let me see what you guys are saying, and then I'll do the player ratings. Lens 4 points. Oh yeah, you're right. Lens are on 4 points. You're on 3 points. You're actually right. We are second on the table. Thank you. Right? Why am I confusing that? You're actually right. Lons are on 4 points. Yeah, we are not top of the table. Thank you for that. I just remembered Lons drew Sevilla. Why am I saying Arsenal are still top? Arsenal is second on the table. But we are still lucky that PSV and Sevilla drew, because if one of them won, we'd have been third. So that is what I wanted to, I meant. So when Lons come to our place, we have to beat them. We have to beat them comfortably. So yeah, we are not top of the table. We are second. Lons are on 4. Arsenal are on 3. PSV are on 1 and Sevilla are on 2. Hopefully that is right. So 4-3-2-1. So very tight, very tight. We cannot afford to lose again. This is football. Anything can happen, but let us hope for the best, says Mike. Yes. Moye says if Atsa plays Havertz against Man City and benches party that day, PTS. The last time Havertz played against Man City, played well. He might still start. Why? Because if Saka is out, I'd not be surprised to see Jesus starting on the right, Nketiah or Havertz as a forward and Trossard on the left. But again, it's very hard to predict what he's going to do for that Man City game. There's 3 or 4 options. He could go with the same, just go with Jesus, Trossard, and then start Fabio Vieira on the right side. He could decide to start Nketiah and play Jesus and Vieira. He could also, I doubt Trossard is going to start. I really doubt Trossard is going to start that game. So that means potentially Jesus on the left side. So that leaves two positions. Nketiah and Vieira, or is he going to play Saka if he's fit, or is he going to start Havertz as a striker? I'd not be surprised to see Havertz as a false 9 in that game. Partey probably should start. It depends on how fit he is, but yes, that should be the midfield. Partey, Rice, and Odegaard. But in terms of the front line, it's either we go with if we go with Jesus, Trossard, people would want Jesus, Trossard, and Vieira, but I'd not be surprised if Trossard does not start that game. I don't know if he trusts him that much to start that game against Man City. Whichever way you do it, we can't afford to lose to Man City this time, man. They don't have De Bruyne and Rodri. We are still good. Don't try everything gonna be all right. I'm not worried about the result. I'm worried about the performance, obviously, but I still do think we're going to be okay if we win our home games. But yeah, definitely not good because we've lost Saka and we've lost the game, and a game that I thought we were never going to lose actually. When they came to the Emirates to teach them how we play football, and I'm still a Ghana in my DNA says Hadzo. We didn't click today. Those guys have their eyes on Man City clash. Could they? Maybe, but I mean, if they turn up against Man City and they beat Man City 3-1, I mean, I don't think many of us will stress about this one because we still have 4 games. But there's always the risk of losing against Lons and still losing against Man City. And you've also lost Saka to injury and it becomes like triple threat disaster. That could also happen. And most of them didn't put enough effort and Lons ran us off. They seemed like they wanted it more. Amata will regret insisting playing Saka. Kai is a ghost player. And Thomas Partey, Arsenal engine, says Rogers. We haven't stopped the act of focusing on ahead instead of facing the one on hand, says Umar. I mean, if you're actually writing they're focusing on Man City, then we better not lose that game as well. Because if you've given away the Lons game and to win that Man City one, they better win it then. Because I think we still have an advantage them not having Drogi and Reboyne. But us not having Martinelli and Saka is not good enough as well. It's terrible. So let me do the player ratings. Today is not going to be as high as the other day. So Lons 2, Arsenal 1 player ratings, starting with David Dreyer. I wanted Ramsdale to start because I want him to get a Champions League game. Raya, big mistake. And it's not the only one to do it this season. It's literally every single player making the mistake. But that one, like, that is giving Lons confidence. The moment you give them that chance to get the equalizer, you're ruining the tempo. Like we had the chance of getting a second goal. If they didn't score that goal, I'd not have been surprised to win that game 2-0 today. But the moment you give them the goal, you give them more confidence. He was okay in terms of aerial balls. A couple of aerial balls, a couple of crosses came in. He was handling them well. The rest of the kicking was okay. The rest of the game, the passing was okay. But that mistake is terrible mistake, absolutely terrible mistake. So, was it average? Was it below average? The second goal, I don't think could have done a lot. I wanted to give him a 5, but I'm going to give him. He didn't have too many saves to make, so if he had a couple of saves, I'd have given him a 5. So I'm going to give him a 4. That's very low, you know. That's very. I usually don't give the players this, so this tells you this was a very bad day. So Raya gets a 4 out of 10. Gabriel, I think Gabriel still did well in terms of clearing the ball and in the opposition box, a couple of crosses came in. I think he was winning them. Tackling was okay. I'll rewatch the game to see if anything that I missed, but I think Gabriel defensively was okay. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. It is a game that we've lost, but it's a game that I don't think our centre backs made mistakes or anything like that. So I'm going to give Gabriel a 6 out of 10. William Saliba. Did he make any errors? I mean, I'm sure I saw Gabriel and Saliba clearing the ball most of the times and putting in blocks and tackles. I don't think they were bad. Yes, we lost the game, but I don't think Gabriel and Saliba were bad. Second goal, could they have done better? I don't think so. Maybe we look at on the left side where they put in the cross from. First goal that they scored, I think it was a brilliant goal and it was a rare mistake. So it was a rare mistake. A very rare mistake. Rare, not rare mistake. A rare mistake. Saliba, I'm going to give him a 6 as well out of 10. I don't think our defenders were bad at all. Yes, we lost, but I don't think the defenders were bad. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Saliba and Gabriel make any mistakes today? I don't think so. Tomiyasu, again, I thought Tomiyasu was okay. He actually almost scored in the second half. I don't usually don't have any problem with Tomiyasu starting, whether it's for Zinchenko or for White. I don't have a problem with that at all. So it's a tough one. I might rewatch the game and maybe I missed a couple of things. I'm going to give Tomiyasu a 6 as well. Zinchenko on the ball. Zinchenko is very good, especially that pass he gave to Havertz in the first half where Havertz volleyed the ball into saved. Zinchenko very good in terms of on the ball and passing. Very good. I need to rewatch that second goal because it came from his side. I need to see if he had gone forward, how much he had gone forward and all that. But the passing on the ball, everything is good. So I'm going to give Zinchenko a 5 out of 10. So pretty high considering he lost the game. But I don't think they made any genial mistakes that cost us the game, the defenders. So 5 out of 10 for Zinchenko. Declan Rice, one of the poorer games. I saw him losing a couple of games. He still made a few interceptions in midfield, but a few times he lost the ball in midfield. Declan Rice. It's so hard. I think it was an average performance from Declan Rice. We expect more from that. So 5 out of 10 for Rice. Odegaard, corners from Odegaard were good. We actually almost scored from one of them, but he was too quiet for most of it. So he's not the only one. It's literally the whole forward, like the whole team going forward. So I'm going to give Odegaard a 5 out of 10. I think it was an average performance from him. Havertz had a good chance in the first half. Like he almost scored from it. He took it well. The goalkeeper saved it well. But yeah, the rest of the game very quiet as well. Now the problem is when all those three midfielders go quiet, Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, then it means you're losing the midfield battle. So I'm going to give him an average as well. Some of you'd give them 4s and 3s. I don't think it was disastrous, but they were quiet. So I'm just going to give them average. They did have moments in the game here and there, like Odegaard, couple of good crosses. Havertz had that shot, could have made it 2-0. Declan Rice, a couple of interceptions, but we expect more. 5 out of 10. Bukayo Saka was only on for 20 minutes, but he assisted. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10 for those 20-25 minutes he was on the pitch. 6 out of 10. Trossard, I mean, he did create a couple of good chances, but I think he should have done better with that chance he had right in the beginning of the second half. I think an average performance from Trossard as well. So 5 out of 10, he was subbed off as well. Jesus scored our goal, but I also think he was very quiet for the rest of the game. So the whole forward line, I don't think anyone stood out today. Maybe if Saka was there, would have stood out. Maybe that is why we start him, because it gives us too much to leave him on the bench. I'm going to give Jesus a 6 out of 10 because he scored a goal and he gave us the opening goal. Good finish and all that. So hopefully he keeps on the phone. He seems to be taking the one-on-one chance as well, especially apart from the one he missed against Tottenham. Bad miss, but against Man United, this one is taking the shots well. So 6 out of 10 for him. On the bench, who came on? Nelson came on. He looked a bit all over the place when they came on, but they almost would have scored. They actually had a couple of chances. I'm going to give Nelson a 5 out of 10. Could have been a 6. I think he was slightly better than Trossard, and Trossard was on for like 60 minutes, 70 minutes. So 5 out of 10 for Nelson. Fabio Villa came on very early as well. Fabio Villa, he had a couple of shots, I think. There's no shots. Oh, that was Smith Rowe. I don't think Fabio Villa was that bad, but I also think he wasn't that good as well. He came on and a bit quiet as well. You expect more from the Vieira we've seen this season. So average 5 out of 10. Probably one of the only players to impress me today was Smith Rowe. He came on and I think he would have been he looked like the only player who was going to score for us. He had that shot from outside the box. I think he created that chance for Nelson that was cleared off the line. So how long was he on? For the 20 minutes Smith Rowe was on, maybe it's too much to give him a man of the match, but I'm actually going to give him a 7. For the time he was on, I think Smith Rowe looked sharp. So he probably has earned the right to start at least one more game. I don't think he's going to start against Man City, but right after the international break, we need to see him starting a couple of games. I think he was okay. I think he looked like our best player, and he came on. 7 out of 10 for him. Who else came on? Ben White. I mean, at the moment he came on, Lawns were parking the bus, so defensively he didn't really have to do anything. 5 out of 10 for Ben White. Who else? Eddie Nketiah, right? He came on. He was only on for 10 minutes. Did he really do anything? Not much. So I'm just going to give him average 5 out of 10. So let me know if you change any of these ratings. If I've given someone too high or someone too low. So Raya 4 because he made the mistake. Gabriel 6, Saliba 6. I think defensively they're okay. They put in a couple of blocks. We didn't lose the game necessarily because Gabriel and Saliba are terrible. Tomiyasu 6. I think he was okay as well. Zinchenko 5. Declan Rice 5, Havertz 5, Odegaard 5. I still think they're very lucky, all of them, to get 5. I think that is way below par from Odegaard and Rice. Odegaard is very quiet, Havertz is very quiet. So I'm just going to give them average because they had a couple of good moments in the game. Like Havertz was close to make it 2-0 from his technique. Odegaard created a couple of good corners, put in a couple of good corners, and Rice a few good interceptions. So that is why I've given them average, but you expect more. Saka 6, he got the assist. Trossard 5 as well. I expect more from him. Jesus 6 as well. He got the goal. Maybe some of you'd give him a 7 because he scored the goal, but let's see. Fabio Villa 5, Smith Rowe 7, Nketiah 5, Nelson 5, Ben White 5. Mikel Arteta. We lost the game. That's the first one. So we have to take that into consideration. I did not want Saka to start this game. Even though I've just said Saka went off and he never looked like we were going to score, I still did not think he was meant to start this game. We have Nelson is angry to play. Smith Rowe is there. Vieira is there. We have so many players who can play. Like even literally, I'd be so happy to see Saka on the bench, even if you're going to play Partey as a right winger. As long as Saka is on the bench, I just want him to be on the bench for even 2 games. Like I wouldn't even have taken him to France. Like stay in England. The plane, the seats are done. The seats are full. You don't have any space for you in the plane. Saka, stay home. I wouldn't even have taken him to France. There's that as well. We had a good start, scored the goal, but the rest of the game, absolutely terrible performance. Subs wise, I think we waited too long because the moment you got to the 50th minute, I was like, yeah, this is not Rice's best performance. Havertz is too quiet. Odegaard is looking too quiet as well. Although I do understand sometimes Odegaard staying on, he has that moment of magic, but we still had the opportunity of making a couple of subs. Too late, 70th minutes after we've conceded the goal. I usually don't like those subs that come on after we've conceded a goal. I usually feel like those are desperate subs. Wenger used to do that a lot as well. Goal, Stoke City 2-1. Wenger goes to make subs. I usually don't like that. We need to be proactive, not reactive. So taking all that into consideration, I'm going to give him the lowest rating for today. We didn't get hammered, but that was not a good performance at all. I never felt like we were going to win that game. Subs were terrible. I didn't want Saka to start. So Arteta, I'm your biggest fan, but today we have to say it is. That was a 3 out of 10. That was a 3 out of 10. That is, I usually don't give these people this low rating. So we are not used to losing these days. That is why. That is a good thing that we're not used to losing. We only lose like once every 2 or 3 months, but today's performance terrible. So 3 out of 10 for Arteta. Man of the match. Should we even give anyone man of the match? Definitely not any of the midfielders. Saka was on for 20 minutes only. Jesus, I think Smith Rowe. I'll put a poll today as well. But I think Smith Rowe is our most lively player and he's only on for 20 minutes. Unless maybe Gabriel. I think Gabriel put in a couple of very good blocks as well. But in terms of performance, not the best performance. Now, we are second on the table. Yes, we are not first. We are second on the table. Lons is top now. We are second. So next game against Sevilla in 3 weeks' time, we have to go there and not lose. We might even have to go there and win now that we've dropped points against Lons. And when both of them come to the Emirates Stadium, we have to win. Have to win. So today is definitely a forgettable night. The moment you talk about this here, we'll never talk about this day again. We just turn our focus to Man City and hopefully we bounce back. If we beat Man City, or believe me, we'll forget about Lons very quickly. We'll wait for them when they come to the Emirates Stadium. But if we go and lose to Man City again, then it becomes a very terrible week. We're still good. Don't worry, everything's gonna be all right. Let them come to the Emirates Stadium. I read that from there. We shall make it next time, says Matthias. Uma says, I can see why it was after Wahi. He looked sharp. To be honest, the guy is good, but Trey shouldn't be too overconfident in his passes, which led to the equalizer. So not a good day for us. We lost the game, but it's not the end of the world. But we now can't afford to lose a second game in the Champions League. Now it's basically now we have to win. Now we don't have any more room to make errors in the Champions League, and we definitely don't have any opportunity, any room to make any errors against Man City. If you make an error when Haaland is standing there, you're going to be in big trouble. Big trouble. And last season at the Emirates Stadium, we made a mistake in the first 10 minutes and Tomiyasu gifted De Bruyne a goal. Let's hope we don't do that again. Let's hope Aaron is at the top of the game. Let's hope that Saka's injury is not too serious. If he doesn't start, we have some thinking to do. Who do we start there to give them a tough day? Let's see what happens. But yeah, forgettable day. We are second on the table. Man United lost as well, so maybe that is also kind of good. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Catch up with you on the next one.